Mr. Cohen's poetry can be found at MikeCohenSays.com, and his book is Between the Eyes. So welcome, come on down, Mike Cohen.
Boy, what an exciting evening we had. And here I am, a poet. My apologies. I beg your pardon, but I hope you'll excuse me for having excused myself from doing anything more helpful for you than to provide a bit of innocuous entertainment. I could have gone into research, or medicine, or medical research, and maybe, just maybe, come up with a remedy for whatever malady you happen to be dying of right now, whether you realize it or not. It might simply have been a matter of applying myself. Who knows? God knows we never will, but you could have had a longer, healthier, happier life, and I beg your pardon, but all I can offer you now are my profoundest apologies. On the other hand, you could have done the same for me. And if you did actually happen to go into research or medicine or medical research, I beg your pardon, but why didn't you work harder at it? Maybe, just maybe, you could have come up with a remedy for whatever malady I happen to be dying of right now, whether I realize it or not. It might simply have been a matter of applying yourself. Who knows? God knows we never will, but I could have had a longer, healthier, happier life, and I beg your pardon, but I think maybe, just maybe, you owe me an apology. Thank you very much. Well, that's okay. The thing is, we probably couldn't have helped each other very much anyway. After all, we're all just little chips in the great, eternal poker game. This is the eternal poker game. There's one famous game of 5-card draw that everyone witnessed, but nobody saw. Round the table, 5 players sat, hauntingly still. Fate, chance, and justice, and chaos, and will. Chance was the dealer. Justice went first. They played their hands almost as if they'd rehearsed. Justice took 2 cards, then Will took 2 more. Chance shrugged and took 3. Chaos took 4. And when his turn came, Fate impassively sat, though he said determinedly, "I'll stand pat." Will folded quickly. Then Chaos gave in. Chance, Fate, and Justice all went for the win. None of them would admit hope for victory was gone. And so the 3 sat with their game faces on until the time came as the second hand swept to reveal the 5 cards those 3 players had kept. Chance had 3 sevens, Justice a straight. All of the focus now fell upon Fate. Over the game room there settled a hush. Then Fate flashed a smile and his hand, royal flush. They sit every day and they play their old game. Each time the contest results are the same. Chance always deals, justice always begins. Will always folds first, and fate always wins. Thank you. Thank you. Now, maybe fate always wins, but remember, chance, while the game is going on, chance is always doing the dealing. How many came here by bus? Too bad. Because, on a bus you learn a lot about chance. On a bus you learn about chance, about when to take a chance and when not. On a bus you learn not to take a chance unless you've got a good reason. Anytime you change seats on a bus, you take a chance. On a bus, you learn not to change seats unless you've got a good reason. A good reason would be if you find you happen to have sat down next to a madman. or in a puddle of someone else's piss, or both. If you just go about changing seats for no good reason, eventually you'll find you happen to have sat down next to a madman, or in a puddle of someone else's piss, or both. That's the kind of thing that happens on a bus, where you learn about chance. That's why we don't like to leave things to chance. This may be the cafe improv, but there's really very little improvisation going on here. All this was planned out and practiced and rehearsed and figured it out and refigured over and over again because we didn't want to leave things to chance, and we know that it wouldn't come out nearly as smoothly if we didn't do all that preparation. And yet, when we come up here, we want to present as if we're being nonchalant about it, as if we just do it very easily, and because that seems the cool way to do it. So that's how we try to present it, as if it's easy. He recites his poem as if he wrote it in one burst, as if he had not stopped for a snack, then returned to replace wrong word by wrong word, by near right word, by right word, by just right word. He recites his poem as if he had not put it aside half finished to make love to you, and forgotten about it and all the rest while he tried on your fingers and slipped into your skin, as if that hadn't changed him forever, once more, as if nothing ever changed, as if nothing that is might not be. He recites his poem as if wisdom and love were effortless and endless, as if all his words were just right words, as if he had not discarded so many just right words and started over, as if he were the lion never outrun by a gazelle, as if he were the gazelle never to be outrun by the lion. As if truth were eternal and eternity were true, as if the perfect fit of your fingers and your skin were not an extraordinary thing. He recites his poem as if he were capable of writing it again. So we try to be nonchalant about just about everything. Our love, our life, our poetry, our marriage. When we get married, we say, "Till death do us part," so easily, without even thinking about it. But think about it. What does that mean? It means that at least one of you is not going to survive the relationship. Best you can do is to end up in a tie like Doris and Boris. Till death do they part. As it goes with many couples, it was not clear whether Doris and Boris were killing themselves or each other. But as they lay together dying, it struck them. The tragedy, the irony, the absurdity of their lives and deaths. Simultaneously, they awakened to broader perspectives as they felt themselves passing the way of Garbo and Gandhi, B.F. Goodrich and J.F.K., Doc and Billie Holiday, the Wright brothers, the Marx brothers, Marx and Lenin and Lincoln and Lyndon and Andrew Johnson, passing into the past, joining Nero and Nicholas and the Tsars, the Kaisers, the Caesars, the Napoleons, and the Neanderthals, the dodo and the dinosaurs. In a moment, it was evident how ludicrous had been their Lilliputian lives in the midst of history. How humble was history itself in the shadows of eons. How even eons diminish as the earth shrinks before stars that blaze and die, leaving minuscule motes to infuse the universe with remnants of their passing spirit. It was all profoundly preposterous, from the famous to the anonymous, from stars to quarks, from ashes to dust. Now Doris and Boris knew it was all one great extragalactic joke. Then they died together, laughing. Thank you.
Mike Cohen. Thank you very much. That was Mike Cohen, all the way from Philadelphia.